What's up, everybody? How's it going? I am live again, finally, with another stream, another interview. We've had two great interviews on this channel so far, and now we have a third with an equally awesome streamer here on the Hex circuit. You have seen his meteoric rise to fame within the community. The big man himself, Hex OG VPN Wizard.
RHMax. Oh God.
VPN
Wizard. VPN Wizard. I like it.
I had to make one of those jokes at least once in the stream. We'll see how many more pop up.
Somebody will debate me one day. One day, it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be glorious.
Probably.
Hi everyone. I'm Max from RHMax. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We were talking backstage too. I was telling you there's some media stuff going on. Trying to upgrade from a pleb tuber to a average streamer one day. So yeah, it's exciting time to be alive, man. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Even the bear market, everyone's like, I'm so sad, I'm so afraid. I ain't sad or afraid. This is great. I'm cool.
Yeah, we're sitting pretty here in the Hex community, in this bear market. Nothing, just accumulating. A bunch of new streamers really getting popular. You've really led the charge in that for sure. With a lot of really awesome interviews, and man, you pump out the content, man. It's impressive. Like every once in a while, I see like 8 interviews get scheduled. I'm like, all right, well, I know where Max is going to be for August. At his computer.
Yeah, we talked about on your channel too on Telegram, like just how I go through it, how I approach it, and just how I'm able to put out content and schedule ahead of time and make clips. And I know you started clipping too, which is I've seen a lot more content come from you as well. So. I think it's catching on. I think the virus is catching on as far as getting the good word out there about the RH products and community products, especially I know you're involved with.
Yeah, man, and I remember because I think I started my channel before yours, and I just saw you like on Twitter with your blog, and I was reading. I'm like, oh, this guy he knows what's going on. Let me get him into my Telegram group and stuff, and then you've just blown up from there. So. I've been really happy watching your success lately, but
dude, I'm really apprehensive with Telegram. Like I don't remember when you invited me. I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't really do Telegram. And I think when you invited me to the channel, that was like the only channel. I think I joined the Hex and Pulse Chain channel. You can't really talk to them. You can't talk when there's 50,000 people in there. But I didn't really know. I wasn't even sure if I was going to join. I was like, all right, maybe I'll just join and see what's going on. Is it one of those paid group things? I don't know. And then I got in.
Some kind of furu scammer, I guess.
Yeah, I was like, why is he? We don't even know each other that well. Why is he inviting me? And then it now became like my favorite channel, like the only one I'm actually really active in. So
yeah, man, you're one of the staples, and I appreciate all your contributions to it. But before we get too deep into all of this stuff, let's how about you give us a little intro to who you are? Everybody else, you ask them who are you? How did you get here? Well, Max, you're in the hot seat today with me. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into crypto, how you got into Hex, your whole origin story.
Flipping the script, man. Yeah, I'm supposed to be the interview guy, right? I'm supposed to be the interview guy.
Not today, baby. Not today.
Yeah, it's a great question. Crypto, I started in 2016. I remember at $600 or something, and I remember thinking, well, God, that seems like it should be more than that Bitcoin thing. Like it seems like it could grow from there. I just remember thinking like that looks a little cheap. Maybe I'll buy. And then that was on Circle. That was before Coinbase became super popular. There's a place called Circle. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but You know, you could get I was searching for how to buy this stuff. It was so hard to figure out even how to back then. And then, I started using Circle, and then they're like, oh, we're not doing retail anymore. We're only doing institutional. Go sign up on Coinbase.com. I'm like, what the fuck is Coinbase? You know, like I've never heard of this thing before. So, and now Coinbase is the biggest thing ever. But yeah, so that's funny enough, found Coinbase. And then I was kind of looking for, I didn't know anything about crypto. You know, I've been working in big tech for, almost a decade at that point. And I didn't know much about crypto, but I knew about technology and all this stuff. And I knew that, hey, I like investing, or I'd like to get into investing, but I don't want the baby gains. I don't want the stock stuff. You know, I don't know really what to do there. But crypto, wow, you go on CoinMarketCap, I remember sorting by biggest losers, biggest winners all the time. I was like my page, and I would just see these crazy 10,000% up. You sort by 24-hour deal and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I actually wrote some code back then. I wrote some code to email me every time something went way up or way down, so I could try to, catch the pump or catch the dump or something like that. I remember writing that code and just like getting all these emails and staying up to, waking up at 4 a.m. because I can't sleep anymore because I need to go trade shit coins and stuff. So I went through that phase. And around somewhere in 2017, I can't remember exactly, but the story is, I was at a party, and a friend of mine who's in the Monero, that was always his thing. And we showed about some more Monero back then when he first was trying to sell me on it, because it was, like $2 or something back then, 50 cents at one point, I believe. He was like, have you heard of this Richard Hart guy? He says Ethereum has all this attack surface and it's really bad. And, this is back when Richard was Bitcoin maxi. I was like, really? I don't, my technology brain's like, Ethereum seems fine. I don't know what's wrong with Ethereum. Like, Ethereum seems like a fine. It's smart contracts. It does what it's supposed to do. Bad code is bad code to me. That wasn't Ethereum's fault. And eventually Richard kind of changed his mind when the facts change, as he likes to say. But that made me start watching his channel, watch some streams. I got into self-development stuff. Again, I was sort of looking for wisdom, looking for not quite health, wealth, happiness at that point. I kind of got into that a couple years afterwards. But I was just looking for a mentor in crypto, even a passive one, just somebody I could follow online and learn more about this stuff that was so fascinating and, could not sleep without checking pages type stuff. So yeah, following Richard since 2017, just following some other Hex YouTubers and stuff before then. Again, CFD token was before Hex. That was the project that was going on. And then that was like, too hard or whatever. Then Bitcoin Hex, and then Hex.win, and then Go.Hex.win, and Adoption Amplifier, Hex.com eventually. I always wonder how much you paid for Hex.com. I'd like to see that number. It must be a big number to get that 3-digit. He bragged about 3-digit domain for a long time. And yeah, then, obviously day one Hex, day one everything. At that point, I was convinced anything Richard touched turned to gold. So if I'm gonna bet on one horse in this industry, I'm buying Richard Hart stock. And and I was gonna say, so far so good. Not disappointed. But again, I've been following him for this. I'm kind of a unique situation where I've been around Hex and stuff for so long, but I was never public. I was always just, following stuff on my own, another Twitter account or whatever. And then earlier this year, I was like, man, it always reminds me of Richard says, you should have utility in the community. Whatever you can do, you should try to, be useful and put your knowledge out, put your mind out there, put yourself out there, pump your own bags. It's a win-win for everything. And so I thought, okay, maybe I'll start a Twitter and start connecting with people and start trying to grow that and maybe interact with the community a little bit. And then I went to a meetup and I met with Bally Brand, and in a local meetup, and with some other folks, and they're like, "Oh, are you a YouTuber too?" And I'm like, "No, I've been around for a long time, but I haven't been interacting. I don't know. I don't think I want to be a YouTuber. I don't think I want to do videos or anything." And then maybe a week or two after that, I was like, "Creating a channel. Let's do it. Let's do it."
Did you drop one of his famous super chats to you IRL to convince you?
Yeah, essentially there. I was like, this stuff doesn't look that. I think I started watching some other streamers and stuff, and I'm like, it doesn't look that hard. I mean, no offense to any streamers, but I'm like, it doesn't seem that hard. I need a camera, I need a microphone, I need a following, I need some lighting, need something to talk about. I think I can tick all those boxes, or I can eventually once I go through the iterations of what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was April or something like that, between April and May. And yeah, here I'm now. Seem to be trending up. Knock on wood, everything's going good. Getting to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people. I love it, man. I'm learning. People seem to be loving the content. I get to hang out with you. Again, what's better than this community? I love this community.
All right. Now, how long did you have the blog before you started your YouTube channel? Because the blog was the first thing I saw of yours, and that's what I was initially impressed by. And you didn't even have a YouTube channel at that point.
Yeah. So I started the website, which is basically just a funnel to the blog, rhmax.org. And there's a landing page, and it's like, oh, go to the blog, basically. There's an about page. Probably nobody clicks on it. There's an about page that talks a little bit about stuff. I'm trying to think. I think I created Twitter first in like February, I want to say. And I must have did the blog and website maybe not too long after that. Maybe, let's say March, something like that. And then, because I remember I had the blog before YouTube. That's right. I had the blog because I actually had to update. I remember updating the blog and updating the website to actually post the YouTube channel link because they didn't have it on there for a long time because it didn't exist. Mm-hmm. And then I had to change the name because once I finally hit whatever number, I could actually name the channel. So I could redo the name and stuff like that. I remember updating the blog or the website. The blog is within the website, but there are two different pages that I interact with. So I was writing a lot of blogs back then. That's when Maximus came out. That's when Hedron, it was a whole deal. Oh, Hedron, is it bad for Hex? Is the OA going to emerge and take everyone? All that stuff came out.
Yeah, you had good articles on that. You had some good articles summarizing like the arguments on both sides.
The case for Hedron. That's one of the first popular blogs I guess I wrote. Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about, Glory. That's my favorite post. If you ever read anything from me and you want to understand about Richard Hart, what he's actually about, the Glory post is probably my favorite. And then Bitcoin versus Hex. I'm also proud of that one because I did a lot of research to kind of do like a debate. If you're going to debate someone, Bitcoin versus Hex, like I basically went through 5 or 6 different verticals of like points you could do in Hex's favor, and I do some Bitcoin, favorable stuff though on that too. I must have had a couple. Answer your question. Probably a month or two before streaming, I was just cranking out the blogs.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. So it was a couple months before. Well, and then you brought up another point that I wanted to talk about because I think you have a really interesting experience as a community member, not just because you're like, pre-Hex OG, like watching Richard Hart. It seems like for a solid amount of time before the idea of Hex was even conceived.
Oh, yeah.
So you were there from the beginning. But through the adoption amplifier to the 50 cent top to when you started your YouTube channel, you were pretty much a private figure this whole time. And then you started this YouTube channel and then you just took off within the community. So how is participating in the community, both as kind of behind the scenes, just like another investor versus now as a pretty prominent public figure, how juxtapose those two experiences you've had within the community?
Yeah, good question. Well, it definitely takes a lot more time and energy to do YouTube and interact with the community. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But you get a lot of value from it. You get to meet with people, talk with people. Your ideals, especially your initial ideals, are probably not going to be the best ones. So if you're able to get some feedback from people, that's usually helpful. Before, I don't know. I think the biggest difference was, I just didn't know as many people. I definitely wasn't checking Twitter every day. I was barely checking Twitter just every once in a while because, still working full time, working on other projects and hobbies and stuff of mine. I think I just was a lot less involved and definitely wouldn't have heard about a lot of the community projects as much. Because most of the stuff, I followed very few people and I used Twitter very sparingly before I started, the Twitter to interact with the community. So now I just feel much more informed. I feel much more, for better or for worse. I can talk about the pros. It's kind of like, time, energy, effort, how much do you want to put into it? How much you're going to get out of it? I think the ROI is pretty good though. I'm kind of happy with it. It's forced me to, especially the blogs and knowing people actually read the blog from time to time and discuss it and giving people information, especially on the security side, to help them make better decisions with free claims and, how things work and the case, forwarding its Hedron, all that stuff. I think, I always got fulfillment from helping people better understand things. the teaching aspect of things that I know about. If I don't know about it, I'll try not to teach you. I'll try to find somebody who does and let us talk about it like that. But just I think when you're interacting in the community, the biggest difference now versus just being passive and just still catching the sack phase, but not going to the local meetups to talk about it, things like that. It's just your ability to, I guess it goes back to having utility and making change and being not just paying it forward, but your ability to make sure that you're in the environment you want to be, kind of like shaping your own thing and having influence in that way is, and it's good. It feels good. It feels like you're, I don't know, feel like you're participating. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. And it definitely seems like something that's like kind of right up your alley. Like I know you're pretty into like self-development, productivity, like kind of how to maximize the efficiency in your life, to maximize like your enjoyment in life. And like,
yes.
That book, like Show Your Work. Have you heard of that book?
Oh yeah.
Little book. Yeah. I mean, I haven't read it, but like I've seen summaries of it. And just the idea of not just learning for your own edification, but also publishing the things that you learn and all the synthesis of everything that you've accumulated knowledge-wise into like one central product that other people can consume and then create their own stuff from your little node of knowledge. Like it really seems up your alley, and it reflects in the quality that you've been doing, man.
Well, I can see both sides. I mean, just on that point, I totally respect people who want to get they don't want to put the time and energy into these things, and they just want to be self-satisfied, like the fulfillment from doing it all on their own and not sharing it. I totally get that point too, and that's what I did for a long time. And hey, I may go back to that one day. You never know. But I think it kind of, the way I came into the community, it kind of I think I set myself up to be like, I was doing all this stuff, learning all these things, and like kind of gathering the knowledge myself for a long time. And then I said, okay, I want to flip it. I want to do something different. I want to work on a new project, as I call it. Everything to me is when I start something, it's a new project to me. Now, how long the project lasts, how much time I put into it, where I want to take it is up to me. But it's a new project, and that's what this channel was. That's what RHMax is about. It's just a new project to kind of expose a lot of the information we have in the community, which is through people. The people in the community are the value, right? Without the people, there's no value. They give value to everything. So yeah, if you believe human consciousness is the most precious thing on earth, and you believe RH products are going to make you rich, mentally and monetarily, you want to get good people. You want to dissipate knowledge, and you want to have that utility. I reserve the right to quit and go on an island at any moment. So just put it out. I
don't think we could do much to stop you, man. If you just went ghost, if you just ghosted everybody, I don't think we could do anything about it.
If I did, I hope that I put out enough value that nobody would be disappointed. I'll say that.
Yeah, man.
I mean, maybe you'll miss me, but
yeah, there's definitely a shortage of content. And actually, that's a good. Let's segue into that a little bit, because you really focused your channel on interviews. You really got some really solid heavy hitters in the community all together on your channel. At least one interview, a couple people you've had on like twice with me.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Which is nice to have.
And I'm trying to think who else I had on twice. David Feeder and
Wells twice, right?
Wells, there you go. David
twice.
Feeder and Wells. Yep.
Yeah. And it's nice to have you on my channel for the first time. Hopefully we'll get a second in soon. But
surprising. Where has this been? Where's that invite been, man?
Dude, what are you talking about?
We've both been busy. We've both been busy.
But so what made you decide that like the format of interviews? What made you decide on that kind of format for your channel?
I think I was really inspired by well, I guess, I would say Joe Rogan, but even Lex Friedman these days, a lot of people watch him, where he would do an interview and then you would see all these clips from it. And I always thought, like, man, that's such a good, I'm so thankful. Again, I see people thanking me on the videos too. And I'm like, that was me. That was me to like all these different podcasters who chop up their interviews and give us the gems, the most important stuff, the highlights. And not to say that you shouldn't go back and watch the full interview, but at least you have an option. So I thought that was just so useful to have that. And, I was trying to think about what kind of format I wanted to do, but it really all came back to interviewing. It just seemed like a win-win. I could, I knew for sure I didn't want to just make videos and upload them. I knew for sure I wasn't that kind of creator. I wanted to, and again, maybe it's just optimizing for like the easiest, most bang for buck kind of way. But I was like, why don't I just interview people just like Lex and Joe Rogan, everybody does. And then I just clip out stuff. Like I just got to figure out how to clip out stuff. I got to figure out how to use Final Cut Pro and all this stuff. But it doesn't seem that hard. I got to put the time and effort into it. And I think people like it. Like I think I would like it. That's what I've liked before. That's what I get value from. So I think other people will too. And so that's what made me go the interview format. And so the content makes itself in that way. As long as you talk about interesting stuff. Now, if I had a daily show, and I loved it, like I love Jim Rat's show. I feel informed. I get on there, some new stuff comes on. I learn a lot in that kind of format. But it's a totally different thing than an interview would be, where you're asking questions that you want to get. You want to get these nuggets out there so you can produce the content that people want to see. So it's totally different than a live show. I knew I didn't want to do a live show. I knew I didn't want to do pre-recorded videos. So the interview format was just natural from there. And the other part of my brand, I think that it's becoming much more of my brand, other than the deep dive, other than technical interviews, other than Sci-Vibe and 5555, would be the no monetization. And I just want to stay as far away as possible from being a human ad. Nothing against anyone who takes sponsorship or takes money or lives on YouTube or needs it for income. Nothing against any of those people. And you could say, you could just turn on. They put ads on there anyways. Well, yeah, they do. But do I need to add more? Do I need to like take on more stuff? Oh, but you can use the money to buy more hex. It's like, or I could just buy hex myself and have to make no trade-offs. I don't have to give them anything if I do that. I would turn off the ads they put on them themselves if I could, but I don't think I can do that. So I would pay, in a way, I'm paying for more sovereignty, at least in my mind. In my libertarian, I'm a libertarian and a pragmatic libertarian. In these principles, I'm okay paying for more sovereignty if I have the choice. If you ask me to, that's fine. I just don't want to sell anybody anything. I don't want to. I would rather, and again, my philosophy could change, all these things, but I really think that making it part of my brand and having RHMax as my name, like that reinforces, it keeps me straight. It keeps me, from going to play with other cryptos. It keeps me like, hey, who are you? You're in the RH ecosystem. Don't get bored. Don't go play with other shiny objects. I want to save myself for myself in that way. So that's why that's my name. And that's why I don't monetize the channel. I just have these principles I don't want to compromise on. And hey, Richard doesn't turn ads on. Richard doesn't turn ads on. And I'm RHMax, so it makes sense. Kind of works, huh? Yeah.
No, I think that's very noble. And if that's like a very central pillar to like the ethos of your channel and kind of like what for you to operate like as a public figure in the community, I think that's great that you kind of stand by that so strongly.
Well, I just don't want anyone. I want people when they watch my content. I don't want them to say, who's sponsoring him, who's paying him. I don't want I don't want anything to be tainted by, I don't want anyone pulling my string, even though if they're slightly. I just don't want anyone. Again, maximizing for personal sovereignty, that kind of thing. Maximizing for having full control, and
I think that's awesome. I mean, I'll be disappointed that I can't drop little super chats in your chat every once in a while. But
I thought about that. I was like, nobody can super chat me, but I'm like, I wish there was a way you could super chat me and it would just highlight the comment and you could do something else, like besides give me money, it would do something else of value. That would be cool. But yeah, unfortunately, you can never super chat me if I never monetize.
Yeah. Well, if you really want, like for the super chats, you could just be like 100% of the profit that I get from super chats goes to X charity or something like that. That way, people can like support you and then like support you in terms of like the algorithm, because like YouTube like really values channels or like it pushes up the channels that get like more money sent to them via like super chats and like stickers. But then at the same time, you're not compromised because it's the community doing it on their own volition. You're not like supporting anything. And then also you're not taking the money yourself, so you're not dependent on it. And it's like, you're just kind of helping spread, the gratitude that people are giving to you to somewhere else,
That's the best idea I've heard so far as I could redirect any of the funds away from myself. So I would not be, having whatsoever, put them towards a charity or something that sins.org, for example. That'd probably be where I'd do it. I would just say, but the idea of participating in, again, a libertarian type of thing, it's kind of wrap your head around that ethos too. Participating in the system means that, I'm compliant, right? It means that I am now part of the system. Do I want to associate myself with that system if I have the choice? It's a trade-off. So it comes
That makes
down
sense.
to, it's not everything is logical in that way when you have a philosophy, but to me, it's like, again, part of my brand of like, I don't want your money. You cannot send me money. Please do not send me money. I may pay you all. I may pay other people to do things such as create media for the channel or whatever, but I don't want anyone pulling my strings. And again, nothing
Thanks, Alan.
against anyone else. Nice. Nice, Alan.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Please, everyone else, do not take anything I say as something I'm saying that you're all these bots controlled by the system because you're making money off your channel. You do whatever you want. That's another libertarian principle. I do not tell you what to do. If you want to put super chat in parentheses in there, you can do that. So it looks like
highlight everyone's gonna pay super chat $10,000, dude. I paid you, man. You got to put it up on the screen.
10K super chat. I like that. Alan, hey, I just want to shout out to Alan. I don't know if he's a mod on my channel. I need to make him one if he's not, but like he comes to every single stream. I think I do. Everyone I see him at. So shout out to Alan.
Awesome.
Appreciate
I see Alan a lot.
Support.
He's the man.
Okay, I got a few regulars in here, but Alan, I would say I'll just point him out in particular. He's doing he's a lot of support.
Damn, I'm rich.
$1 million super chat from Hedrology.
I'm gonna get so much Hedron Hedrology. It's not even funny. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Bro. Yes.
Okay. One more question on the interview stuff that you do on your channel. I know, like we were saying before, you're real big on learning. Personal growth, health, wealth, happiness, etc., etc. So, from all the interviews you've been doing with all the amazing community members, tell us a little bit of like some stuff you've learned from all the cool interviews you've had.
I think if there's one struggle I have, it's like when I'm doing the interviews, it's listening, paying attention to the chat, and like trying to do, I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty good split brain as far as being able to multitask, but I'm getting pushed when I'm doing interviews, especially when it's a technical concept where someone's explaining it. I sometimes go back and I rewatch the interviews. Well, especially when I'm clipping, but when I'm clipping, I will have to like literally play it. I can't skip around. I need to play it because I need to understand what they're talking about. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they're talking about. When I couldn't listen earlier when I was answering chat or something, because I want to take care of chat too. I think that's useful when you're streamring.
Audio is kind of important.
Yeah. I want to make sure they come back. So I try as much as I can. The other day I had we hit 99. Might have hit 100 when I had Jake Sharp on, and I've never. That's my first time I noticed the comments just scrolling. I'm like, oh my god, I can't. I'm gonna have to miss some of these. I just can't do it. I'm just not humanly possible to do it. Man, I forgot what the question was. I'm sorry. What was the question?
What have you learned from your interviews?
Takeaways.
So, big picture takeaways from all your interviews so far. Oh, and shout out Identity Block. Thanks for sending people over, man. Go check out Identity Block. Anybody here who hasn't watched his stuff, he has some really awesome streams.
Yes, I was actually gonna. Identity Block is on my. I have like a wish list of people who I want to stream with and stuff too. Identity Block is on that list. So Identity Block, hit me up on Twitter if you ever want to come on the show.
Bro. Yep.
Well, do Sloth first. Yes, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah, I want him on my channel as well. I'm pretty bad at sending out the interview invites, but anyway, sorry, I interrupted you, Max. Please continue.
It's all right. No, I'm trying to think what I've learned. I mean, I'll get into the super chat thing in a minute because that's something I learned. I definitely want to talk about. But with Dixon Piper the other day, I learned. I feel like every time I have someone on the channel, especially if they're a founder or someone super knowledgeable about a project, every time I have someone in Follicular Loans, I learn something new, some like new strategy or something, or some new feature they're coming out with. I'm going to have the one of the fiat devs, I think, on soon. So I think the biggest things, I've heard a lot about that again from Dixon Piper. He taught me a lot in this past one, I gotta say, with branding and all that. Go watch the Dixon Piper RHMax interview if y'all want to learn about like Twitter branding and like more super chat stuff and all that. Man, I think it's just different with every guest. Some guests I'll like top to bottom what their project's about. But I also like to say, what are the top criticisms? Like if I know something, if someone, if people are like, we say thudding or whatever it is, if people are saying a bunch of different criticisms that may have something to them, I want to bring that up during the interview. I don't want to like grill my guests or anything. I want to be very polite and very, like nice to my guests. I don't want to like be under all this anxiety and pressure, but I also want to ask the questions that people are thinking about, people need to know about. And especially if there's something controversial about the project, I always think about how can I bring it up in the most respectful way, the most productive way, so that they can talk about it. And then if I'm not satisfied with the answer, maybe I'll poke around a little bit and see. But I think that's one of the things I try to bring to the show too, is objectivity. If you're a guest on the show, you can shout out, you can talk about, you can have a banner that says your product, you can say whatever you want. You're a guest, you're my guest, hospitality, you can say whatever you want. But also, the chat's going to ask some questions. If they ask some hard questions, I'm going to post them. If they make sense, I'm going to post them, and we're gonna give you a chance to answer them. So that's one of the things, I think, just evolving my interview skills, because I went from, I've interviewed people at work before, and I guess I've got some interview experience that way, interviewing developers and different things like that. But I've never interviewed people on a show, and I've never interviewed people in a casual kind of setting where I'm trying to get good information I'm trying to get consumable type stuff out of it, and also make the conversation free flow. So I think let's see. My first stream, I was talking to, shout out to Crypto Kindness. He helped me a lot getting my head around streaming and just a lot of StreamYard stuff too. He spent some time with me. I always remember him and appreciate that. One of the things he mentioned was, what was it? There's something interesting from that. Yeah, I forgot. I definitely forgot. Anyways, I learned, he was like, what is your goal? That's what it was. He's like, what is your goal? And I said, I want to be a good interviewer. I think I can be, I just have no experience. I want to be a good interviewer. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Sounds like a good goal. And that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to produce the content, direct, produce, schedule. I'm media, I'm editing, I'm essentially a one-man show for 99% of the time. My wife helps out sometimes, but she don't have a lot of time either working. So that's what I want to do. I want to become a good interviewer, and I hope I'm at least average so far. Maybe I'll get better, but I think I'm becoming average, which is I'm able to get guests on the show. So that was the hardest thing. I was like, how am I going to get people to come on the show? Okay, maybe I need to have more subs. I need to have more followers. So that's, not that I'm focused on subs and followers, because I'm really focused on growing organically. I want to, I don't do, like I said, I don't monetize, I don't do ads, I don't do cross collab type stuff very much. So I want to grow organically, but also I wanted the numbers to make people say, hey, if I come on the show, I'm going to get distribution. I'm going to get, a quality interview. And that's what I try to do.
Oh yeah, dude. I love it. And I think you do a great job as an interviewer. Yeah. I enjoy watching. Unfortunately, I don't get to catch yours live too much. I'm usually running around doing something at school, but I love catching them on the replays at 2xp. Yeah, well, I hope so. I need freaking to get my patience in the chair. Yeah, start fixing teeth so I can learn how. But
you got like a back alley. You got like a dentist chair back there. Hey, $50. $50 for a filling.
No, sir. 90. But I don't get any of the money. The school
you got
does.
Principals. 90.
Yeah. But let's move into the next thing you wanted to talk about. Let's talk about your super chat thing that you talked about with Dixon Piper the other day. Why don't you share what that is? Share to us what that is, because you were explaining it to me before. I think it's really cool. So let's spread the word about that, and let's discuss it a little bit.
While I'm talking about, can you find the tweet and just share the tweet, because that kind of goes through each step too, and that'll get people who haven't seen it yet. So essentially, the Friday I had Dixon Piper on the evening, and we were talking about branding and Twitter and a lot of different interesting stuff. It was a great interview. And one thing he mentioned was how to be effective marketing with Hex and Pulse Chain and stuff with super chats. And he mentioned that Motley, a Motley investor, did I think a $500 super chat
I remember that.
Yeah, on some channel, maybe was it Watches or something, that had like a crazy number of
I don't know who it was, but
people.
it was a pretty popular.
Yeah, like maybe 1 million sub watch channel or something like that, where a lot of people were watching. I don't know how many people were watching, but a lot of people were. And there was a guy who got onboarded from another channel who watched that channel all the time. And I think he was like famous or something. And long story short, and lack of the details, this was very good marketing. we were able to onboard more people into Hex, get more people talking to Richard through super chats. Now, it's a great strategy, and I'll go through it. But if you're broke, it's kind of hard to do. You gotta have some money to super chat, right? That's like the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, the ideal is, and you can click on the link on Twitter too that Sloth shared to get the text version. But basically, you go and you try to find like you go on Google or wherever and you search for best watch YouTubers, best car show stuff. Go whatever Richard has in that's related to him. I've been struggling today. I've been going through Richard's Twitter, clicked on media, and just scrolling down for the last few weeks and seeing all that. Because before I would see, oh, he's talking about whatever $12,000 Nike, Louis Vuitton, gold, those sneakers, and I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of scrolling through. I'm not paying attention to it. This is not Richard Hart from 2020, that type of stuff. And now I'm like, oh my God, let me go back and I need to research all the stuff he ever bought because I need to use those keywords to find people who are talking about this stuff. So essentially, step one, go and find people who are doing live streams. And so I'm still evolving this, like how to actually do this in the best way. I was telling Sloth backstage, I was like, I may actually be writing some code to try to, or signing up for some services that can help me find the live streams, let me know when they're going to happen with certain keywords like Rolex and Ferrari and even crypto. There's a lot of crypto YouTubers that Richard hasn't talked to. They never did a stream before. They may or may not be friendly with them and stuff like that. And even if they're not, you drop a super chat in there. Now the followers see it. If nothing else, you're getting a touch point. So step one, find people who do live streams, have a lot of viewers, have something in common with Richard Hart. Step two, and sub there, whatever. Show up in their chat. Show up during their live streams. Step two, do a super chat. Ask a good question. Now don't just say, do you know Richard Hart? Don't say stuff like that. Be like, hey, if it's a watch channel, they're showing some Richard Mille stuff or whatever they're doing. Say, hey, have you seen Richard Hart's $10 million watch collection? It's pretty impressive. Can you bring it up on the screen? Also have the price list if you want it. That type of stuff. And especially if they never heard of Richard, which a lot of people haven't, they're not going to be like, oh, scammer, blah, blah. They're not going to say stuff like that. They're going to be like, whoa, $10 million. That's more money than any of my old generations ever made in my life. And everyone on screen has never even had $1 million watch, probably. Or, if they're really big, maybe they've had some big ones, but no one's ever got a $10 million collection. And they're probably going to respond. I've had some people respond pretty positively. I had some people say, hey, I'm going to tweet at Richard. I'm going to try to get him on the show. Certain watch shows. So I've had some traction so far. I've had people talk about, streamers talk about, hey, ones I've never heard of, but I say, can you bring up the Hex chart? What do you think Hex is going to do when Pulse Chain launches? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I sacked for Pulse X. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are, stuff they would probably never talk about on stream or not very often, but you can engage with them. You can get them to say these things because, they feel compelled because super chat, you're giving them money, you're having a voice. It makes sense. It's a nice little thing. So step two, ask them a good question or put out a good statement, address them by name, be respectful, represent our community well. And then step three, just, clip it, see how it goes, like share it with the community. I've been sharing a couple of mine. I've been clipping them when they start talking about Richard in whatever way they start. Literally the watch guy was like he brought his panel of 4 people and they had, maybe a few hundred people watching, a couple hundred, something like that. And I emailed him because he gave me his email address on the thing. And I emailed him the video of Richard going through all the watches. I emailed him the price list and he brought up the price list and all this stuff, which totally, makes it all legit. And they were like, they were shit talking a little bit. They were saying, the boxes, one should be, I'm like, dude, seriously, it's a $10 million watch. You're going to complain about the boxes or something? Are you serious right now? So I wanted to say, broke watch guys, shut up. Like, have respect. I wanted to say that, but I was like, no, be nice to them. Be nice to them. Yeah.
Trying to get them to buy my stuff. Trying to show my bags.
I know. So, and then step 3, just see how, like I said, just clip it, share it with the community, engage with them on Twitter, and just be consistent. Have a monthly budget. You don't have to do $100 each, although I think the strategy I'm going to use, if there's like 1,000 people watching or 500 people, maybe I'll do like $50, $100, just to, get some attention.
Break through the noise a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to the money value, the more money, the more they're going to be shocked. I mean, oh my God, he gave me like $100. That's like, they're going to remember. You want them to remember you. You want them to remember your question and what you're talking about, stuff like that. That's key in a good way. And then set yourself a budget, put your money where your mouth is. That's what I said on the tweet. There's a lot of people out there who aren't broke in Hex. You don't have to sell your Hex to do this stuff. I mean, am I the only person that spends personal money, like supporting the community in Hex? I feel like is it like a weird thing to not sell Hex and just use money that you have to, like, give people stuff or like market for Hex? I've been doing it for years. I don't, to me, it's just like, yeah, it makes sense. This is something I like, support. I want to see grow. Well, I got some money. Let me put it towards it. So set yourself up a budget and be consistent. Do it. You just check out the live streams. You can go on YouTube, sort by live, sort by view count. You can get the best ones and just start dropping some super chats and just say nice stuff. And you can make connections and tweet at them. If they have Twitter, tweet at them, say, hey, after you do it, be like, hey, maybe they said, oh, I'd love to have Richard on the show. Tweet, hey person, I remember you said you want to have Richard on the show, tag Richard and then post a clip of it and stuff like that and just get some engagement going. So that's the super chat strategy. I went deep into it this past weekend after talking to Dixon. I think it's a terrific idea. I've got a budget I've set myself. Like I said, I'm trying to get some YouTube API stuff going so I can like get notifications when big streamers are going live. Wouldn't that be cool? I'd like to have that and start being effective with marketing.
Probably the PulseTube people. That could be a cool little like tab on their stuff. Like,
oh man, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And so like anybody who wants to do that strategy, like on PulseTube, you can pull it up and then there'll be like, itemized streams that are live that are like, for watches, cars, fashion, even like productivity, self-help, like it all kind of falls within like Richard Hart's like, multifaceted personality and the kind of
I didn't even think of that.
Over time.
Somebody in chat clip this, please, and send it to at PulseTube them and at the Hexistentialist, please, because I'll have a conversation with them about it too.
Yeah. That way, anybody we can kind of like crowdfund or crowdfund, like maybe not crowdfund, but like have a public place where we can funnel everybody's attention to like concentrated streams. And so it's not just, you doing it, but like maybe you have 4 or 5 people dropping like $5-10, and then like, OG Hexagon Max over here dropping $500, stuff like that.
Yes. Excellent idea. Yes. I should have went to you already. I should be like, Sloth, what ideas do you have for this? I knew you'd have some idea. So excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, man. I like it a lot. You just told me about it, but just thinking about it in a couple minutes, it's a really solid like guerrilla marketing kind of a strategy for Hex.
Yes.
Because it's like, Richard Hart is such a, diverse, character and he really like excels and is like at the precipice of a lot of different like sectors, we can say.
That's why he's been doing it. That if you can't understand his outrage marketing, he's giving you all the material to go connect with other communities and grow this. That's why he's doing it.
Exactly. Self-help with sci-fi motivation, even general like philosophical worldview construction. You have the fashion with the flamboyant outfits and the, crazy high price tags of like really like high-end designer clothes, $10 million of watches, Louis Vuitton stuff, out the ass, and like there's one more thing, cars. He has all those like collector cars, like high-end sports cars.
It's a $2 million Roma, $2 million Roma Ferrari, I think.
Yep. And so these are all like communities that really don't necessarily touch with crypto at all, but they have very deep communities because they have so many different niches, but like they're pretty established like communities in general and have their own like social media presence. And because they're not really touched by crypto at all, they don't have that negative connotation of the Richard Hart name when you first meet them. And so because Richard has all of these multifaceted interests, and they're so prominent and like and kind of like peacocking out there, it's a really great way to be like, hey, like, have you heard of this guy who like does the same thing you guys are talking about? And it's like automatic interest right there. And naturally, if you're looking at Richard Hart stuff, you're going to come across Hex pulse chain, all of that, like
Yep.
just like over time, like it's just gonna happen. So I like it a lot. I think that's a great idea. When you first said it, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah,
I
that's
think
awesome.
that
I'm excited to see where it goes. Hopefully we can get a nice collab with Pulse Tube.
yes, I'm gonna DM him after this and be like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Can you do this? If anyone has figured out how to pull YouTube data, it's that guy and
Yeah.
and the team behind there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Bob said Paul was in here a little later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
he
saw him
hopped in for
earlier.
a second. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still around, but I'm sure you'll connect with him. Somebody will connect with him. We'll make it happen.
Nice.
But like, yeah, at least I'm not a developer or anything, but theoretically, it doesn't seem super difficult. You know, you just like data scraping kind of things. You have your APIs, keywords, and then you just display them kind of like they already display hex streamers in their life. So, yeah.
Well, YouTube is not exposing shit right now. It's actually like you go in there and you can hit live, but if I type hex as a search and I hit live, sort by view count, I only get hex. And if I type hex pulse chain, I get different stuff. And if I type pulse chain, I get different stuff. And I can't do multiple stuff. Like I can't do or, right? I can only do and. I can't do, unless YouTube has language to do that. Somebody let me know if they do. But anyways, you don't want to do it on the webpage anyways. You want to do it programmatically. And I want alerts. I want to say, monitor if there's like, tell me when the next ones are coming up even. And then tell me when one just went live. Because maybe somebody just goes live randomly. And I want to catch those. I want to get on super chats. And I want to be like, hey, yeah. So just trying to be effective with that. Yeah, we definitely need to use API keys and stuff. Great idea.
Hell yeah, dude. So yeah, everybody, that's the super chat guerrilla marketing strategy coined by RHMax. Let's pivot a little bit. Let's pivot a little bit here to some of your blog posts actually, because you just had a recent kind of string of articles about smart contract safety, how to create ERC20s. Why don't you tell us a little bit about those series of posts and kind of what was your goal in creating them?
Yeah. Do you? I was going to bring them up. Do you want to bring them up, or you want me to bring them up?
Yeah. You bring them up. I think you can get there faster. Okay. I'll let you bring them up. That way you can click through it. You can click through it easier.
Yeah. Let me just share.
And just real quick, while he's finding out, everybody in the chat, I appreciate your viewership. We've had a really awesome audience today in the high 20s and 30s, and I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. And here we go.
Yeah, let me see if I can look at it at the same time as the screen. Well, I can't see the screen, but okay. So the last couple months, I've really been digging into smart contracts, and I did a 3-part series. The first one, first I'll start with the free claims. So I did free claim stuff around when PLSD was coming out and that stuff. A lot of people were freaking out. Oh, is it safe? It's going to drain my wallet, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I wanted to deep dive into what are the actual security risks? You know, how can you protect yourself? Like, can someone actually drain your wallet? Like, is that even possible? If it is, how? And, you know, what can we look for to make that, you know, not a thing? So being vigilant on free claims, that was a pretty popular post. And I'll just click on it for a second before we get into the 3-part smart contract one. So being vigilant on free claims basically, again, goes through like, what is a DApp? How do you connect your wallet to a DApp? Like, what's actually happening when you connect it? You know, you're just, you know, show them your address, account balance, all this stuff. What are MetaMask approvals? How can you revoke approvals? You know, things like that. And I did a lot of research, and there's a lot of references in here to different stuff, different articles, different presentations, things like that from conferences to explain these things. Like, what are some of the things that may be coming up that Ethereum itself is trying to make more secure about, you know, dApps and smart contract interactions and stuff. So it's just more about trying to give you peace of mind when you're interacting with free claims, and like more stuff about how you can revoke it. And again, like one of the biggest things that actually PulseTube, Hexistentials from PulseTube and I talked about, I'm referencing here, is ice phishing. How do you protect yourself against ice phishing attacks? And how to check the address is the same, you know, on that, how to check the contract address and make sure it's the same as the one on the MetaMask prompt. You know, check the website, check the domain, all this stuff. Basically, how to protect yourself when you're doing free claims. You know, check and see, has the contract been audited, all that good stuff. So there's a lot of interesting stuff I learned there. And again, coming from tech, writing code for a long time and stuff, I was kind of coming into crypto like, okay, I know a lot about code. I know a lot about, technology and how computers work, but, blockchains like smart contracts, Solidity, how does this stuff work? So it's easy for me to pick it up and to understand more about it just because I already had that, the fundamental background there. And talk about hardware wallets and like why those are a good idea and what they do and what they won't protect you against. Because they're not a panacea. They don't protect everything.
Yeah. So my understanding for hardware wallets is that basically it's just really good for seed generations like off your computer. So like you don't have like the seed phrase touching your anywhere stored on your computer. That's like the main benefit for hardware wallet.
That's the biggest. It's basically you have a baby keyboard on another device. So no matter if there's a piece of malware in your computer or not, you're not typing on your computer, so they can't compromise your seed phrase. Oh,
hey, he's here.
Hey, there he is. Here. Nice. Heard my name. Nice. You're listening to us. Yeah, we'll talk later, man. Get some sleep. Don't worry, but I'm going to send you a DM.
Continue.
Yeah. So hardware wallets prevent like that kind of key logging type thing. And they also think of them as like a two-factor auth thing. It's something you have. So before you send a transaction on MetaMask, you need to physically press a button. You need to first review what the screen says on like what address, what amount, blah, blah, blah. Because malware on your computer could change, they could change that address. They could put, what they call it. They can change your copy and paste buffer where you think you copy an address, but then in the background, the malware copies the attacker's address, the malware's address, whatever. And then when you paste it into MetaMask, you're pasting the malicious address, not the one you thought you did. That's another attack that can happen on your computer.
First four, last four. Always check.
Always check the last four. Yes. So if that happens and you have a hardware wallet, and you check the last four on the hardware wallet, and compare that with where you actually want to send it to, not what you typed into MetaMask, but where you actually want to send it to, you can see if there's a difference or not. And then you can deny the transaction and stuff. So that's the two major things hardware wallets help with is from the beginning seed phrase generation never touches the computer, and two, transactions if you get malware, sending it to the wrong address. They help with that. That's the two major things they help with, which are big. Those are two of the major attack vectors that come from crypto.
Yeah, man. So please continue.
Yeah. Smart contracts. This is post one in my 3-part series. This is like me going through literally. That's why I like doing my blog. I'm learning. I'm teaching while I'm learning. I'm referencing. I'm putting all this stuff in here. What are smart contracts? What are blockchains? This is how, if you want to get a start on understanding the fundamentals of this stuff, how to interact with it, Etherscan, how does this stuff work, and how to write them yourself. So it's kind of like, what does it look like? Where does the contract data live? How does this stuff actually work? I go through all that stuff here. You can even write an example smart contract as I show you. Go to remix.ethereum.org, create a Solidity file. You don't have to have real coding experience. It's I don't know if it's no code, but it's like extremely, extremely basic. Like you can do this stuff without much computer experience. So that makes it fun too. So you can write your own smart contract, not your own token. We'll get to that in a minute, but your own smart contract and run it. Yeah, you ran code. So you have like a hello world. You can put it in there, you can run it, and you can say, hey, I deployed it on Ethereum testnet and ran a smart contract. Pretty cool. How many of your friends can say that? How many people you know in your life that are not, on Twitter, they're developers and stuff? How many people in real life can you say, hey, I deployed a smart contract on Ethereum testnet? How many of them will say, oh, me too? Like probably zero, right? Unless you know some very interesting friends. So bragging rights, you got that too if you want it. So welcome to the 1%. So that is part one. So what is smart contract? How do you write one? And then part two gets interesting. So how do you create a token? How do you create specifically an ERC20 token? And this just goes through like, what is ERC20 token? ERC 721, that's NFT. What are these different types? What do they mean? And then how do you actually make a token? You can use Open Zeppelin to make it super, super easy to just where you literally just fill out the name, the supply, all this stuff. You deploy it. by default, the sender, the deployer of the contract, gets all the tokens. So you can create Slothcoin with 1 billion token supply, and you deploy it, and now your testnet Ethereum account has 1 billion Slothcoins, and now you can distribute them however you want. As a simple example, here I did Heartcoin. So Heartcoin is live on testnet. It exists, and I have a wallet that has all the Heartcoin. So 100% of the supply is in my testnet wallet, and you can configure it different ways.
Jesus.
I set up liquidity pool. I go through it too. I set up liquidity pools on testnet Uniswap, and you could actually trade Heartcoin on testnet. So I don't have all the supply. I put some up for liquidity too. So don't get mixed up.
Your testnet money.
Yes, on testnet you can go buy it. So yeah, that's it's pretty cool. Like literally, I mean, so you can go from, if you really want to learn about crypto and you want to know how this stuff works and you want to do it in the simplest way possible, you can create a smart contract and you can create your own token. And once you know how to do that, you're going to feel, when people are talking about smart contracts and platforms and dApps, you're going to feel, if you read this blog and go through these steps and stuff, you're going to be like, whoa, that's actually not that crazy. Like I understand what, I can talk turkey with these people a little bit. Like I understand what's going on. But if you never do it, if you never actually click the buttons, you just can't get it. You got to click the buttons in order to really grok this stuff. And easy for me to say because I have technical background, I know, but like I've literally tried to dumb it down as like basic as possible on these posts. So again, no coders that we call them, people who do no code, people who don't write code, but they have done no code stuff. Normies, wages, yeah. What other Reddit terms?
I'm in that group. I'm not a coder.
Yeah, but you can do it. You can do it. So you can see it here in my wallet, 1 billion, and then again, liquidity providing. I went a step further. I'm like, all right, how does this stuff work? I want to know how liquidity providing really works. I want to go put up liquidity. That's how you learn. So I went there, went to Uniswap, made a pool, selected a pair, did an ETH and a Heartcoin pair, put it in, did the fee stuff, all that stuff. And then you do the transaction. And I think I bought, let's see, did I sell or buy some? Yeah, I was trading Heartcoin on Ethereum testnet. You can do this too. You can literally go create your own coin. It's not that hard. So yeah, that's the second part. And then part 3 I was like, all right, let's do security again. Malicious smart contracts. And then basically this is kind of building on the free claim stuff. It talks about free claim a little bit, but it's more of like, if I want to understand how the different people get, how the different attacks work in the crypto ecosystem. One of them I talk about is the Uniswap frontrunner bot that Richard's tweeted about a few times. You may see them. You may see like the scam posts, the tweets in different threads of like, I can't believe no one's talking about this, and it's got a link to the Uniswap frontrunner bot video, and it's literally a video. Again, there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. What approval contracts are, honeypots, what they look like, liquidity rug pulls, all this stuff. But I'll get to the fun example is deposit contract / frontrunner bot type scams. So it's basically they will go through an entire video and it'll look like, oh, this is cool. This is like, I'm going to make some money on Uniswap. They make it look super legit. Guy speaks perfect English. He sounds like a developer. He's got Remix pulled up. So, the same thing I showed you how to make a contract. He's got it pulled up to make it super easy. And then he's like, okay, now we just need to fund the contract. Just send it. The more ETH you send, the more money you can make. And I'm like, whoa, there's a scam detector. There it is. And that's literally what it is. He's like, he sets you up to be like, I'm going to show you how to program this bot. And then you basically end up sending Ethereum to his address. It's like a very clever scam, but like,
do you get 2 ETH back though? Do you get 2 ETH back when you send
That's what he's saying. He's saying, dude, if you watch the video, if you go to the end of it, you can see he'll be like, okay, let's check how much money we made. And he'll hit refresh and it'll show like more ETH in the account. And they're like, all right, next day, hit refresh, more ETH in the account. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're such a good scammer. Like, this is like very clever the way you're doing it. You scammer you. So you can learn all about it here. And then please don't get scammed. But there is no front runner bot for Uniswap. You cannot make money front running trades or whatever they're trying to sell you on that.
Yeah, you have to do that through your own work and your own analysis. You can't program a bot to do it.
Or just buy RH products. Not financial advice, but the price seemed to go up. Pretty good. And then again, I talked about how to protect yourself. Don't fall for phishing stuff. Check your contract address. Use a hardware wallet. Make sure don't download MetaMask from like GitHub or like some other website other than the official Chrome store or the official Firefox store, whatever browser you use. Don't install some fake MetaMask that's going to steal your money. That's actually an attack too. This kind of goes through like basically a brain dump and explanation of all the different attacks in crypto I could think of that I could do. I literally added everything I could possibly think of that I've seen references of, all this stuff. And if you want to know about crypto scams, this is the blog post for you.
That's awesome, man. That's a really great value add to the community, because I know the Hex community has been targeted for scams before, and unfortunately people have fallen for them, but because of just a lack of knowledge and ignorance of like the different attack vectors. So having that in a centralized place is really valuable, man. We all appreciate that work. I skimmed through them. Sure. I haven't read through them deeply, but I'm definitely going to do it, and I'll probably buy up all the heart coin I can out of that liquidity pool. But I'm going to do it with Sloth. I'm going to do it with Sloth coin. I'm going to print a bunch of Sloth coin.
Man, I challenge you. I challenge you to do Sloth coin. I'm telling you, your eyes will open. You'll be like, oh my god! Like, I mean, I don't want that to lead to you creating another token to do a free claim. I'm not saying people shouldn't go create their own. I'm not saying influencers should go create your own coin and do stuff. You do whatever you want. Some have more utility than others, obviously. But I think just as a learning experience, if you go create Sloth coin and you trade it on Ethereum testnet, you're going to be like, whoa. If you never did that before, it's really going to help you grok a lot of these ideas outside of mastering ICOSA or mastering Hedron. What other little stuff you play with, Sloth, that don't really exist in the real world? No, those two projects are great. Just kidding.
Wait, you're kidding about they're great, or are you kidding?
I'll let you decide.
Yeah.
Chat, where's the super chats? Come on, chat. Super chats. We're talking about super chats for 20 minutes. You didn't do anything for Sloth.
I'm not there, man. I'm not there. I can't monetize on my channel. I don't have 1,000 subscribers. I don't have 4,000 hours of viewership yet, man. I'm forced to be principled right now. I can't cash in on my audience yet.
You gotta start clipping, man. More clips. You gotta stay up late. Clip that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got a bunch of clips in the pipeline for my interview with or my stream with graphics. That's gonna be good.
I heard about that.
And so I was able to knock out quite a few this past weekend, and I just got to get all the thumbnails done up, and then I'll schedule them out. I'll probably pick a few just to launch immediately, because most of it's ICOSA related, and I have a feeling it's probably going to drop fairly soon.
Yes.
So
didn't Alex say end of July?
This month.
I remember
this month.
It's got to be this month. Yeah, I think I remember a month ago he said in July he was targeting. Oh, by the way, Alex, I got him. You should get him on the show. I got him come on on the 19th. I want to say. 19th.
Well, I will say I just confirmed with him. I believe today he's coming on Wednesday this week.
Congrats! Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, that's gonna be a good stream.
So that'll be a good one. I'll give you all the good questions on my stream, so you can piggyback off my stuff. Pick up all the stuff I didn't hit.
Well, yeah, I know you're gonna hit them. You're gonna hit them on the deep ones. I'm gonna be like, so what made you want to create a coin? How did you come up with
That's just as valuable, man. All of that stuff is valuable. It paints the whole picture, and I think your channel is a great place to get all that information. And maybe I'll go light on all the background information. Leave some content for you, man.
I appreciate that. You do that for me? You do that for me?
Yeah, I would do that for you, Max. Even though you're bigger than me now, I still, I'm still a little older.
Hey, we were head to head for a while. We were. Remember when we were on the top under 1,000? Or are you? Did you hit 1K yet?
No, I think I'm at 900 still.
Okay. So you're still.
Dude, I don't pump out the content like you, man. You've been going hard, getting big people. So,
but
my time's coming.
I didn't want to leave the list. I was like, I told him, can you make a top under 5555? I don't want to leave the list. I like the list. Yes.
Yeah, now you're on your own. No extra help. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I've been getting a lot of support from the community lately. My interview with RG3 that went really well, and he kind of pumped me up a little bit. Said a lot of really kind things. my interview with Graphics. He has a huge audience, and he's been pumping me up on Twitter lately.
Yes.
So I really appreciated the community kind of signal blasting my stuff. It's very humbling, means a lot, and I appreciate it.
Society rewards you for creating value. That's the way it's supposed to work. Meritocracy, society rewarding value. Like, these are the things. There's very few things in life that are not BS. But these fundamental, like, laws of nature almost, if you give the people value, you will be rewarded. And that's the way it should be. Yeah. And that's what you're doing. So, like, you're playing the right game. What's the definition of a scam? Like, people give you stuff, but you didn't give them anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a scam. So, like, being the opposite of a scam, like actually providing value, that's what it's supposed to work. So if you keep providing value, man, you're gonna get on that 5555 list real soon.
Oh yeah, we'll be up there together.
Yes, it will be head to head again, and they'll be okay. Who can clip the most? Who can clip
the most? I love the clips because it's just like auto content, and it's like really digestible. People seem to like it too.
Yes.
It's really easy to make. I set up a solid workflow, and I just like blow through it as much as I can. But it's going to be really interesting to see what us, like, you have a pretty solid channel. Graphics has a solid channel. But within like the grand like YouTube scheme of like subscriber counts, like the Hex community is actually pretty small. Like the big channels are like 10K, 15K. But like for YouTube, that's like a modest channel. Like for like the grand scheme of YouTube, that's like a fairly modest channel size. It's going to be really interesting, like the next bull run where like the influx of attention comes into. So what happens to all of these channels when like we get more, a lot of new people who are interested in Hex? Because
we started in a bear market. We launched in a bear market. This is the compound interest is going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so like all the people in the chat now, like who are like really awesome and consistent viewers, we'll be seeing them.
You got some good comments here. I like the Heartcoin Godwell. I like the Heartcoin Godwell by Bob. That's funny.
Where was I going with that? But like as the bull run comes and we get this influx of attention, and now we start to see the bigger channels now start cracking that 100K. Channels like ours will start moving up the ranks a little bit too. So that'll be really cool to see when the whole ecosystem moves up in terms of like attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's viewership. Exciting. That's something that nobody's talking about. That's true. All the streamers, all the people who are producing good content, again, you're going to get rewarded. If you don't get rewarded in the bear, you better. I think that's. Did somebody say that the other day? I thought it was really meaningful. They said, maybe I'm deriving from what they said, but it basically, the ideal is your true numbers are in a bear market. Your true value, like your subs you get in the bear market, are the ones that, you can never be overvalued by your numbers in a bear market. In a bull market, maybe you have 10K subs, or maybe you deserve them, maybe you don't, whatever. But in a bear market, you get 10K subs and you grow like that. Like, whoa, imagine the bull run. Imagine the bull run.
Yeah. I really think Hex and Richard Hart is going to have like an even greater meteoric rise in the next macro bull run, just because so much of like, so much of the fluff, so much of like the dead weight has been burned away in crypto as a whole, and will continue as time goes on. And obviously, Richard Hart and Hex, because of its quality, will survive the storm and will come out the other side stronger because of it. And because of that, it'll have, it launched in a bear market, has seen a full cycle, and now this is going to be its second full cycle going through. And it's going to start repeating like some of the patterns of like Bitcoin and Ethereum when they've gone through their first cycle. And now we have even more attention, more macro adoption, more acceptance of cryptocurrency as an asset that has value as a whole. So it's even going to be greater as people start to differentiate Hex from everything else, which is good news for us. It's good news for us and our clips.
Three and our clips. Yes.
Clips.
Three-year Hex anniversary is coming up December 2nd. Richard keeps saying he's been pretty firm on January 2023 for the documentary, and now he's saying end of year, but I'm going to say January 2023 just to be conservative. Are those dates correlating with Pulse Chain launch?
That'd be nice. Yo, I can't wait till Pulse Chain launches, dude. That's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be so much fun. There's so many options for like earning yield.
adult dating
Hey,
site.
I think this is my first time getting this kind of stuff. I feel a little honored.
They came to me first. They gave me the syphilis first, and then came over here.
Mods, get them, mods. You got it.
Get them mods.
Do I even
I
have
just want to say too, the hexadigital set for clips might help if you download the SRT file first, and you can search the time steps and describe the video. Interesting. Can you download the SRT file from StreamYard?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never tried.
Maybe from YouTube, you probably can. From StreamYard, I'm not sure. But I've just been doing them in Final Cut Pro and finding them. But that's a good idea. That's a very media professional idea. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Biffness, I gave you a mod. Yeah, there you go, man. Start moderating. Enjoy the band hammer.
Get him, Biffness. Get him.
Let's go ahead and let's throw some wrenches in the chat. I know you have to leave pretty soon, Max.
Got a few minutes. We got any questions?
Yeah.
Anything going on?
Yeah, go ahead, throw some questions in, and if you have any final thoughts.
Hey, somebody asked a question, and they said ignored it. Maybe, let's see. Oh yeah, the top 3 cryptos. I remember that one. Yeah, they said if you scroll up a little bit, healing, helping, loving asked, what are the top 3 cryptos for Granny or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, my answer will be very simple.
Yeah.
Get your hex, stake it, then mint your hedron, and then when Icosa comes out, stake that, and then you get your Icosa, and then you get 3 free coins off just buying 1. You're welcome, Granny.
You did went a different direction than what I thought. Okay, I would say get your hex, and then get your P hex coming up, and then have some, and then you flip a coin for Pulse and Pulse X. If Granny can only get 3, flip a coin between those 2.
Yeah, I would definitely say if we're just saying like put money into buy, do the hex, then you'll get all of those free coins. You'll get the free hedron, you'll get the free Icosa, and then you'll get double all of that. So you basically get 5 free coins by just buying hex. And then when Pulse Chain launches, I would actually prioritize buying Pulse X, stake that, and then buy Pulse Chain, and then delegate that. That would be the probably.
Bob was cracking me up. He has some of the funniest comments.
Got upstage by the butt.
Bob, you're an asset to the community. SRT from YouTube after videos processed. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it came from YouTube. I figured.
I'll have to look into that myself. Well,
go to sleep. Go to sleep. I'm gonna DM you, but go to sleep, and we'll talk later. Okay.
Well, Max, you got any final words for us? Anything? Any parting words for the audience, for me, for yourself, before we end this one?
Drink Red Bull. No. Final words. I don't know. I think we covered some good stuff, man. Hedronist. Yeah, I think
all the conjugations of hedron.
Conjugations, yes. I think just keep your head up. If you're sad in the bear market, don't be. Don't let what's the quote? Try not to have an emotional response to everything. Think about first principles. Think about what's going on. Why is it taking so long? Because is it whatever Richard's doing, whether he's trying to time it, whether we just have to fix these bugs first, whether documentary needs to happen to onboard 1 billion people, whatever the plan is. Just if you don't quite understand what the plan is, I would say I just assume it's a deficiency on myself. I don't have enough information, and that Richard Hart is smarter than everyone, and he has been so far at least. And he's going to do what's best for the community. Trickle down winning. I like to popularize that, trickle down winning. So when he wins, that's why I buy Richard Hart stock. When he wins, we win. His products win. Holders win. Don't be sad. There's no reason to be sad. It's a sunny day. It's beautiful. It's summer, at least in the air hemisphere. So Australia, sorry, put a jacket on. Just go outside. Stop worrying about stuff. Don't over leverage yourself. Just go read some books. I got some. Tweet me if you want some book recommendations. I have plenty of those in Sloth as well. You read some good stuff too. Yeah, I think.
Yep. Awesome, man.
Life is good. Life is too good. Life is too good. It's too good. So knock on wood.
Well,
we keep winning.
Yep, I just dropped Max's YouTube channel and his Twitter in the comments and then in the chat. So everybody, if you haven't subscribed or followed him, go do that. He has awesome content, awesome interviews, a nice nice repository already, and has some cool stuff coming out. He's having Alex on in a couple weeks, so that's going to be awesome. And he's definitely going to be a regular on this channel periodically. The RHMax interview, maybe every couple months or whatever.
Muscles in the chat.
Yeah,
in the chat.
Well, we'll have to get. Let's see if I can see one. I mean, I'll have to get GRC on at some point too.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun conversation.
I asked him this morning. I'm like, in Vegas, are you gonna buy me a protein shake? And he said, 100%, man, 100%. So GRC is committed to protein shake in Vegas. I might go work out with him too. We'll see.
Oh hell yeah, that'll be a good time. But all right, Max. Well, this has been a pleasure and awesome conversation. I'm gonna let you go handle your responsibilities outside of this awesome online life that we both have.
I have a life outside of streaming. I guess I do somewhere.
I can't tell with how often you're on, man. Hitting 2-a-days every once in a while now.
I need to sleep more. I'm telling you, sleep has been lacking. So I had too much caffeine and too little sleep, but I'll get there. I've just been busy. I did the double header on Friday and I wore myself out. So I'm like, I need a second
break. Yeah, take a break, man. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your wife.
Yes.
But everybody, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my stuff, go ahead and do that. If you want to keep seeing stuff from me, I'm going to make the tweet to make it official. I'm going to have an interview with Alex where we're going to talk all things Hedron and Icosa. Going to be going deep onto it, hopefully. We'll see. That'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to learn a bunch. But yeah, so look out for that, and I'll stream after that sometime eventually, like I always say. I kind of play it by ear with my school schedule. But Max, it's been great.
Pleasure, man.
Asset to the community. You're an awesome friend, and I look forward to continue to grow with you within this space together, man. Same here.
Been you're one of my favorite people in the community for sure, and it's been you got to get back on. You got to get on the 555 page. Like PulseTube said, it's coming. Yeah, I didn't. Did I drop that? I'm sorry. We have these conversations where I'm like, I'm working on this new feature, and I'm like, should I talk about it or not? So that's coming. So let's get everyone subbed. If you haven't subbed yet, get Sloth off of the 900 number, get him on to the 1000 number plus, so we can start a competition on a new list. So we can motivate each other even more. Thank you for inviting me on, man. I love your audience. Awesome. I love talking with you, and we'll do it again. Awesome. Peace, everybody. Yeah.